What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video here at MattyFish33 on YouTube. If you've been here before, as always, thank you so much. I can't do this without you guys. If it's your first time here following us along on this cichlid and fishy journey, please like, subscribe, share, click that bell, get those notifications, and follow us. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. So, I know there's been a lot of things going on in the fish gallery lately, guys. I mean, I've kind of been a little all over the place, and I apologize for that. But, you know, we got to get back to the heart of things. So, we're focused back here on our big boy tank today. And we're going to do another fish feature for you guys. And today's fish feature is going to be on this big, beautiful guy right here, our Buccochromis Lepturus green. Now, one thing about these guys, they are not as common in the hobby as some of the other buccos. I think, albeit for the fact that they are, if I'm not mistaken, they are the largest growing species of Buccochromis. Buccochromis, literally, like in Latin and Greek, it almost translates to mouth perch, for all intents and purposes. But as you can see, he's got that really large mouth right here, and this guy is maybe a little bit more than half grown. He's somewhere between, I would say, 9 and 10 inches right now. So for large males, these guys are going to top out somewhere between 14 and 16 or so inches, and females are probably going to be more in that like 12 to 14 inch range. But this guy, he's going to continue getting some more brilliance to his color, but I mean, he's almost there. I mean, he's looking beautiful, guys. Just take a look. He's really getting dominant in this system. When I got this fish, he was about 7.5, maybe 8 inches. I've had him for, sorry, I'm trying to remember the timeline. I've had him for about 7 months now, maybe give or take a month. As you can see, he's really trying to show some of his dominance right now. He's really been moving up the ladder as he's started to get closer to that size where you're going to expect some more coloration. I'm kind of surprised he's, you know, dealing with our Venustus right now. I'm not sure what that's about. I think it's mostly because Dolph Lundy here, our tank boss, our big blue dolphin, has been giving him some crap, but check out how dark this guy is right now under his throat and on his pectoral fins. That is a massive display of dominance in the African cichlid world, for those of you that do not know that. But let's get back to the heart of this. So, Buccochromis lepturus green. These guys are also known as the slender tail hap. They were first discovered, well, I say discovered, but I mean, let's go with first named by British ichthyologist Charles Regan in 1922. And these guys get big, which is why, again, I think they're not quite as common in the hobby. They are very common in Lake Malawi, where these cichlids are endemic to. They are very predatory. They hunt juvenile cichlids, and that makes up a lot of their diet because they eat a lot of smaller fishes. It's kind of, this is definitely one of those types of fish that if it fits in the mouth, it's gonna go in there and it's probably gonna get eaten. So I would not recommend keeping this fish unless you have other large predatory haps in that system with this guy. So as most African cichlids go, they like a lot of hard water, a little bit of higher pH, ideally somewhere between 7.5 and 8.5 for the pH for these guys. You know, and just for anybody, before they come out here to say, well, I'm looking at this tank, it looks pretty big, how big is it? So this tank is approximately 155 gallons. It's a little narrower than I would have liked when I picked it up. But if anybody's been following the channel for quite some time, they would know that I kind of ended up with this in a pinch because I found it in a deal, because the original home, which a lot of these fish were in, and this was before I even got our Buccochromis lepturus green, the original home was not much different in size from this. But, I mean, this is not going to be the forever home. Just to stress that to these guys. This fish is probably going to top out at its max growth probably sometime in the next 2 or so years, maybe a little bit longer. So I do have some time, but you know, as I've said in many videos before, this system is around 155 gallons, but these guys are eventually going to go into something between 300 and 500 gallons. For a full-grown Buccochromis Lepturus green, that would probably be about the bare minimum. And again, like, this wasn't an intentional grow out, guys, but it kind of turned into that. But as I've stated before, these guys can be highly territorial, mostly with other dominant males of the species. However, you see there's some discrepancy going on as I'm filming this video. But you know, we have had some shifts in our hierarchy again, and especially as this guy is becoming larger and more dominant and making his way up that food chain. So I think we're going to continue to see that. And to be honest with you guys, I think one day we are definitely going to separate the haps and peacocks, but we're not going to talk about that in this video. We'll talk about that in another video when that comes up, so you'll just have to stay tuned for that. But just like most African cichlids, these guys are going to prefer warmer waters, so somewhere between, say, 78 and 84 degrees for this guy. He's going to be really happy at that temperature. If you do want to breed these guys, obviously you're going to need a very large system. Something, again, probably minimum 300 to 500 gallons when these guys are full grown and breeding. And you know, you're going to want to keep at least one male with 3 to 4 females. Otherwise it's just probably not going to work. These fish are very polygamous, and they are prolific breeders from what I understand as well. I'm very sorry, guys. I wish I could find some more facts for this on you, but like, just to get the facts that I found on him that I didn't already know, it took quite a bit of digging. And I think part of that is because, like I said, they're not quite as common in the hobby as some of your other Buccochromis species are. But you know, in Lake Malawi, where these guys are, you know, naturally found, where they're endemic to, oftentimes they're going to be found in your shallow areas or your intermediate areas. Like, you know, guys probably the size of this one here, somewhere between, you know, say 8 and 12 inches, probably going to be found more in those shallower areas. And they're going to be hunting smaller cichlids and, you know, consuming them. And then the bigger boys are going to kind of move out to the more intermediate waters, a little deeper, where there are some larger fish for them to prey on. As far as things that I've noticed since I've got this guy, you know, as he gets larger, he's definitely, like I said, moved up the chain, showing a little bit more aggression. But I mean, honestly, like, I'm a little surprised. It's like I turned the camera on today and you guys kind of got to see just about like the most aggression I've seen out of this fish since I've had it. Like I said, they can be very territorial, as most African cichlids are, but you know, these guys are not going to be considered highly aggressive unless they're being territorial with another large dominant male of the same species, or a similar species. I would say that, you know, if you had another large dominant Buccochromis of another sort, say for example a rhodocii or spectabilis or something like that, that could apply there as well, especially if you had a female in your tank. But you know, we've covered some of those topics in other videos, and the dichotomy of, you know, maintaining your hierarchy in the system. So guys, I think it's time. We need to pick a name for this guy, and I did have a name in mind, but as always, I'm not going to throw that out there right just yet in this video. I want you guys to leave in the comments below what you think we should name our Buccochromis Lepturus green. And then as always, we're going to post up and we're going to do a poll once we've got, you know, 3 or 4 names, and we will take a vote. So, you know, always a fun opportunity for you guys to interact and get a name to one of these fish, and, you know, get a shout out on the channel for naming this fish. So please leave in the comments below name suggestions. If there are more than 4 name suggestions, like the name suggestions that you guys also like, even if you've made a suggestion yourself. Because, you know, in the event that there are more than 4 name suggestions, the most liked name suggestions are the ones that are going to end up on the poll ultimately. That being said though, guys, I can't wait to continue to see how big this guy gets and how beautiful he becomes. I mean, it's already a very beautiful fish in my opinion. You know, but like I said, like, owning this guy hasn't been too much of a challenge. They're known to be difficult to keep, but for me, it hasn't been that bad. I think that, you know, as he gets larger, some of those difficulties are going to show up a little more, albeit maybe the aggression and things like that. So we're just kind of going to have to see and take it day by day as it goes. But for now, everything is a-okay. So don't forget to leave a comment below. Let me know what you think we should name our Buccochromis Lepturus green. And thank you for joining us today. And I will catch you in the next video. Matty Fish out.